German conductor Elias Grandy has won worldwide acclaim for his evocative interpretations of operatic and orchestral classics. Elias has been praised for his technical precision and an ability to grasp the psychological depth of great music. In recent years, he's wowed audiences with acclaimed productions in cities as diverse as Frankfurt, Portland, and Tokyo. The award-winning music star has come to the Middle East on a mission to make classical music accessible to all. Elias, we're here at the Qatar National Convention Centre. You're preparing for a big performance with the Qatar Philharmonic Orchestra. You come here a lot, don't you? What's the draw of this region?
Of course, as an artist, we always have the privilege that we can see the world and go to so many different places. In my line of work, very often it's places with a long tradition, or orchestras with a long tradition. And here I think the beauty is that it's such a young orchestra, an orchestra that was founded 15 years ago, and so that has a completely different atmosphere to it. And of course you can feel also, same as with the orchestra, that the city is very dynamic, evolving very quickly. And to come here regularly and to see how things change every time other things stay, and to be able to witness that, it's just a wonderful thing for me.
Your own life in music began learning the cello as a child. When did it first become obvious to you that you perhaps had a talent that could turn into a career in music?
I come from a music-loving family, but not professional musicians. And so it was just part of our education that we learned an instrument, and then with me and with my brother it turned out in our teenage years that actually we might be good at that. The other part, of course, is you have to love it. You have to you find what this music, what classical music, how rich it is, how fulfilling it is to spend time with it and to get to know it and to discover this universe that every piece has, a universe of emotions, of stories that are in these pieces. And when we listen to it, when we take it in, then it is a comfort also that we are all searching for something in this life, on this planet, whichever our situation is, and then we come together, in this case with music, and we realize, oh, we can also be together because we share the same questions.
And you were a cellist for many years in many different orchestras before you became a conductor. So you know what it feels like to perform from two different perspectives.
I always like to say an orchestra is one of the most beautiful things that humankind has created. It has an enormous complexity to it. Each single player has to be extremely good on their own instrument, but then they have to play together as well. An orchestra, therefore, is as a whole also like a living organism, and to have been part of that organism and to understand and to feel what is important for each single part of that entity was very helpful for me to make sure that these parts can come together and live and breathe.
Thank you so much for inviting us in behind the scenes into your world. You've got a passion for making music more accessible, experimenting with ideas to connect more with younger people. Why is that so important to you?
People sometimes believe, classical music is not so accessible, or is hard to understand, or I have to know a lot about it. But actually it's just spending a little bit of time with it. And sometimes, and this is where I believe my part comes in as well, or our part as musicians and as artists, sometimes we just also have to help and guide a little bit and say, look, if you know this little bit about it, then you will experience the music in a completely different way. And because I do it quite a lot and I see what it does to the audience and how much it helps, so I'm a strong believer in that, yes.
You've very obviously had a lot of success, but along the way, have there also been challenges, difficulties too? I mean, what's your attitude towards perceived failure or challenges in general?
We always talk about talent as if it would be something that is given, but everything is always a combination of talent and hard work. And every challenge, every failure, everything that doesn't work out is just an incentive to work on yourself, to better yourself. And that is something I actually love about the job that I'm doing, because it has this demand all the time. The music has this demand, because the music is absolute and in itself perfect, but we are not perfect. Failure is always part of the way and part of the process, and in some way almost then also imminent to the process, because then the human side of it, the humanity comes out.
Talking more about the human side of things.
Yeah.
Now, I know you said that actually working with individual musicians is a really important job of the conductor. Can you tell me a bit about your approach to that type of leadership?
First of all, leadership comes only through competence. You work with musicians who are highly trained, who are doing this for the whole life. So you have to know how to inspire them, how to give something to them, and in which way to do that. Each orchestra has its own personality. How does an orchestra work musically, but also as people, as a group of people? What kind of dynamics can be in there? What do I have to deal with? How will I deal with that? And to then find a way to focus everyone on the meaning and the message of the music that we are going to perform, and to find common ground, to say, okay, this is how we want to perform it together.
I'm sure that people all over the world will be looking forward to seeing much more of you throughout this year and the next. Elias, thank you so much for allowing us into your world and being our guest on The Dialogue.
Thank you. Thank you.